In this video, we're talking about the CZ Scorpion 3 Plus coming up. So first things first, it is unloaded, there's no ammo, and I am not being paid by CZ or any sponsors. I'm getting nothing. So I thought I would do a video on my Scorpion 3 Plus pistol. It's the pistol version because it's got the 7.8-inch barrel instead of the shorter, I think it's 4.2-inch barrel, which is the micro. So I wanted to do a video on this just because I really like the design that CZ has for the 3 Plus specifically. I don't have any experience with the earlier Scorpions. I've never shot them. I don't own them. The 3 Plus I think was designed really well. I did change a few things on it, or added a few things, should I say, and we'll go over those real quick. So obviously back here you can see the brace from SB Tactical. One of the things I don't really care for it is that it sticks out on this left side a little bit more than it needs to. Now, I'm sure that that's because of the earlier Scorpions. They had like a sling loop on that side, so it's to clear it, but on the 3 Plus, it doesn't have that, so it sticks out a little bit unnecessarily far. Not the end of the world, just a small little gripe. But the brace has two positions. It has the further out position, and then one that's a little bit more in. Up top here, we have a Romeo 4DR, which stands for dual reticle. They don't make these anymore, which is unfortunate because this was a in between, like a Romeo 5 XDR and the Romeo T, which are pretty expensive. The Romeo 5 XDR takes a AAA battery that goes in the mount, which is kind of an issue because then you can't raise it up like this, and it's getting really tall. And the reason I went with a really tall, I think this is the 1.93 Scalar Works mount, so that I can use the iron sights through the red dot mount. So it clears the top of them, and I decided to do that instead of trying to do a co-witness, and that works for me. Especially with this higher mount, it allows me to get over the top of these rails rather than trying to put my cheeks on them, because I have sharp jaws. Get a lot of comments on it. Yes, I have very prominent jaws, and sharp metal is painful for me. So if I go over the top of it like this, I can actually just clear it all together, and then I don't even have to worry about the rails. So this height works for me. I don't know if YouTube is deleting or giving channels strikes for Amazon links, but I did buy the Scalar Works mount from Amazon. If the link is still available, it'll be in the description below. Further forward, we have Strike Industries charging handles. They're a little bit more extended than the factory ones, but what I also absolutely love about the Scorpion is that you can put dual charging handles in at the same time. If you've seen any of my other videos, one of my pet peeves is when a gun tuber or manufacturer calls something fully ambidextrous when you have to swap sides of the charging handle. That is not fully ambidextrous. Fully ambidextrous is something that you can just hand back and forth to a left-hand or right-handed shooter without changing a goddamn thing. When you have to change things, I do not consider that as fully ambidextrous. Now, I get it. The ejection port doesn't change. But the rest of the controls, when you have to change it, that is not fucking fully ambidextrous. It drives me nuts. With the Scorpion, it does not come with two charging handles, but you are able to at least install two charging handles, and I absolutely fucking love that. It is one of 3 guns that I know that has fully ambi controls. So we got the MDRX, and when it was forward eject, it was even more ambi friendly. The PS90 and the Scorpion 3 Plus specifically. So we got dual charging handles on mine, so they're non-reciprocating, but when you pull one back, the other one does not go back. What I also like about the Scorpion 3 Plus and the Desert Tech MDRX specifically is they did multiple ways of being able to lock the bolt back. So you can do the HK style where you rotate the handle up, which locks the bolt open, and then you can do the HK slap in order to release it. Or you have the bolt catch for when like your magazine runs dry. With the Scorpion 3 Plus, you can also manipulate it with your finger because it's right here, and you can manipulate it by pushing up on it in order to lock it back. So you could do either or, and then you push down in order to release it. And you can do that with your trigger finger. I was just using it in my thumb because that's what you can see. With the MDRX, it's back here, so it makes more sense to have it up here because that's going to be a lot less ergonomic. This is very ergonomic. This is one of my most ergonomic guns that I own. So I love that I can put two charging handles. It also locks back. You do the HK slap, and it works on both sides. So you can do that from either side. The charging handles don't stick out a lot, so they're not an issue. You can get much bigger ones than this, but I think this is plenty big enough. They're not going to break the bank, and I have found that they work great. That was one of the changes that I made. The rest of the stuff is just stuff that I added on, like the sight and the brace. Other than that, let's see here. I mean, I put a rail cover up top because of the way that I've been trying to hold it. It is kind of one of these numbers. I've been trying different things out to see how I like it most to shoot it. I did get one of the pins from HP Industries. That is supposed to reduce the wobble of the lower receiver, although on my particular model, it didn't work. Not the end of the world. I'm not saying that, I'm not complaining about the HP Industries product or anything like that. I'm just saying for me, it didn't work. It didn't take the wobble out. We got AR style controls. We got magazine release here and another magazine release on this side. What I really like about it is what they did with the bolt catch, bolt release. So it's right here, but it's got wings on both sides of the trigger guard, kind of like the Bushmaster ACR. And I wish that they had done exactly this right here with the CZ Bren 2. Instead of keeping it inside the trigger guard, I wish they would have made it like this and have little fins on the outside. So CZ, if you see this, please do that to the Bren 2 or offer something for it or whatever, because this is the way that it should have been. Or now I guess you guys are on the Bren 3. So mine came with two 20-round magazines, which to me, the 20-round magazines look the best. Then I got, I think I got one 30-round magazine from CZ. And then I got a whole bunch of Magpul 35-round. So the newer Magpul magazines, they work for both the older gen Scorpions, but then they also work for the 3 Plus, which is absolutely fantastic. And the same thing with the newer CZ magazines. Now, I understand people's complaints about the older magazines not being forward compatible because they changed the magazine release. I understand people's complaints, but I never owned any of those, and I like this way better. And that's why I bought one of these and never bought one of those, because this is a win. I also decided to go with the 7.8-inch barrel. This is the pistol version. It's got a fake suppressor on here. It's just held on with Loctite. So if you heat it up and take like a strap wrench, you'll be able to get it off. I used a pipe wrench and marred it. Even though I tried to put tape on it, it cut through the tape, but it's not that big a deal because once this comes off, I don't care. It doesn't matter. My idea or thought process with doing the 7.8-inch was I got the longer handguard with it, so that if I wanted to get a suppressor for it, I might get a barrel from HP Industries, which is like the 4.2-inch barrel, and then tuck part of the suppressor underneath the handguard, probably a resonator, or not a resonator, White Gem R9. And then I would slide it underneath the handguard. Well, now that I have the 7.8-inch, I want the micro as well. Because why not? I want them both. Can't buy it right now, but eventually I will. So here's one thing that I have noticed with the Scorpion over, say, any of the other firearms that I own. with it being a direct blowback, when you release that bolt and it slams home, it's probably the loudest gun that I own, that when it goes home, like the noise that it makes, it's the loudest one I have. It's rough on the ears, and for somebody that with tinnitus, which is constant ringing in the ears, it's not fun to do that without ear protection. It's just something that I noticed. It's not a complaint, not a gripe or anything like that. It's just something I noticed. So if you're watching this because you're trying to decide whether or not to get a Scorpion 3 Plus, I'm going to tell you right now that I suggest you do, because they're pretty awesome. I've had a lot of fun with this. I haven't had a single malfunction. Granted, I haven't put a lot of rounds through it just yet. The thing that I can't tell you is whether you should get the micro or the pistol version. Unfortunately, that's not an answer that I can give because I don't have any experience with the micro yet. But what do you think? Have you already made a decision? Leave a comment below whether you'd rather have the pistol or the micro. But hopefully this video is actually short so that you stayed engaged. That's it. We'll catch you on the next project. See ya.